these versions of different enterprises setting up their subsidiaries in the country. So the focus has been cost savings, and then the wave 2, which is after 2010, as the captives were here, understood the landscape well, understood the talent which they could actually hire the right talent at scale. They started attempting areas like consulting and design, architecting of the products, right? And then they got more autonomy. Apart from the delivery excellence, they try to become the transformation hubs. So wave 2 is more up to 2015. The wave 3 is the one, so where they become the portfolio owners or co-owners. It could be a functional ownership, or it could be a product ownership or a process ownership, which is being anchored from the GCC locations. So the co-ownership of the product, technology, architecture, design, more autonomy is given to the GCCs. That's the inflection point, which is sometime around 2017, 18, the pre-COVID time frame. But post-COVID, it accelerated. Apart from the higher autonomy, so they also, with the advent of AI, and then AI adoption accelerates, so they are becoming actually global transformation centers. Lot and lot AI adoption is triggering the transformation. Agentic explorations are happening. A lot of areas like cybersecurity and then transformation decisions are being taken care here. And a lot of innovation is happening from the GCCs. So now GCCs have become the next levers to increase their organizational productivity, as well as the top line and then bottom line influencers. So in 4.0 version, GCCs also have leveraged, realized that like within 1,000 people or a 2,000 people enterprise, in-house they wouldn't be able to actually realize this transformation, and they started collaborating with the service providers and then the surrounding ecosystem. It could be hyperscalers and academic institutions, their ecosystem around innovation and then startups, right? So a lot of ecosystem play is going to enable the next level of transformation for the GCCs. That's the 4.0 version of the GCCs. If you look at the GCC maturity as a function of the strategic alignment with the headquarters objectives, and then the empowerment that they have in the country, the portfolio ownership, the workforce competencies, the culture alignment, the number of COEs that they are going to set up out here. So you would see that like close to 50% of the GCCs, which is in the wave 2, another 50% almost in the strategic in nature. So the GCCs have transformed from the cost centers, the wave 1. You see actually very minimal number in the wave 1, and you will also see close to 5 to 6% actually moved to a complete transformation hubs as well. So in their journey, I think majority of them are actually in the wave 2 and wave 3. So there are different objectives and different priorities for these GCCs depending upon which wave that they are there. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. So we talked about there are GCCs 1,800 plus already there, and then there is some prediction that like there are 2,750 GCCs by 2030. So there is a study which is done that like how much of this growth is really true? Why would it happen? Is it really going to happen? So that's a big question. So the next slide, just look at the G2000 enterprises, global 2000 enterprises. Out of this, 65% of them do not have a GCC. So there is a vertical cut that is being given here. Technology and communications, 36%. They have the most number of GCCs in the country, not just in the country, but globally somewhere, right? Healthcare and then life sciences, manufacturing, retail and consumer, banking and financial services. While some of the first movers in the country with the captives have been actually JP Morgan's, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Citibanks of the world, Citigroups of the world, but still there is a good percentage, 39% of the banking services, they do not have a GCC across the globe. And then cyclical commodities, logistics, professional services, have 80% of them do not have. So what it means, 65% of the G2000 companies at some point of time may embark on a GCC, whether it could be India or any nearshore locations. But even if the ones which have GCCs, out of that, only 3/4 have a GCC in India. So the cumulative opportunity for setting up a GCC in the country is close to 73.5%. So which means every global 2000 company, 3 out of the 4 does not have a presence in our country. So that's a huge opportunity. So it is believed that like the momentum is going to continue. The statistics that I told that like every month 10 to 12 new GCCs are going to come, every quarter 30 to 40 new GCCs are going to come, so which is going to happen. Let's look at the collaboration angle. So if you look at a 10-year period of 2015 to 2020, that's the time majority of the captive units which have been set in the country, okay? So during the time, most of these captives are set by the parent company themselves. That's the reason why they are called captives, right? So it's the legally owned by them, and then the infrastructure built by them, the ramp-ups have done by them. But I think during that period, 25 to 30% are actually provider assisted. Providers are like HCL Technologies, Tech Mahindra, Infosys, TCS, Accenture, and these are the providers. So they 20 to 25% they used to assist, but the period that which you look at the post-COVID 2021 to 24, the provider assisted models, actually the percentage has gone up almost 50%. So there's a huge play providers are actually having in the GCC setups. Last 12 months, if you look at, actually it has gone to the majority of the GCCs that have come into India have taken the help of service providers like us, okay? And if you look at that, what is that which model that which service providers are offering? So the one is a build, operate, and transfer model. That's a BOT model, right? So I think on their behalf, we set up the center, we ramp up the people, we run the operations, we transform those operations, and over a period of time, we transfer it to them. There is another percentage, ABO, assisted build and operate. So here, the legal entity will be owned by the global enterprise, but service provider will assist them in setting up these. So that's a second category. There are joint ventures as well. If there is the investments are very high from both the entities, and there are certain legal compulsions or statutory compulsions, then probably a joint venture would be a correct route in setting up GCCs. So 2015 to 2020, joint ventures have been many, but I think that is shrinking. So I think more or less vendor assisted, that's basically BOT or ABO models are the majority of the composition of the setups. So why service providers are being leveraged? So because it helps them accelerate their speed to market, lower upfront financial commitment by the enterprise, right? So the facility will be brought up by the service providers, and the ramp up will be done by the service providers. Service transition will be handled by us. The transformation levers will be identified by us. The making it transformation is also, the SLAs remain with us, and then over a period of time, it will be transferred to them. So that's going to be a lot more helpful and ease of setup and management. So these are the reasons. So what we thought, what we have looked at is actually there is a huge market in the GCC space, and then it is expected to grow, and whatever 15% year on year, and then there is a large role that like service provider will be playing in that. Yeah, so this is about the GCCs, and then a little bit about the transformation. What kind of a transformation these GCCs are going through, how AI is actually accelerating the transformation, how AI is influencing the transformation is something that which we will cover in the next 3-4 slides. So the traditional GCC, which is the wave 1 and wave 2, the focus has been cost-driven and execution focus, right? And then some of the imperatives there, cost arbitrage, semi-automated processes, reactive service delivery, linear talent scaling, right? Limited decision autonomy, It's a headquarters driven, most of the decisions, and then the GCCs are more of a delivery or an execution engines at that point of time. And then functional silos, either there could be a revenue cycle management standalone working, in order to cash process siloed working, but I think there is no cross-functional view at that point of time. So where labor arbitrage, delivery center, service operations, and workforce scaling, these are the focus areas. Moving to the AI-led GCC transformation in wave 4, which is more intelligence-driven and then value-focused. So earlier we were talking about SLAs, OLAs, the KPIs were different, but in wave 4, the KPI is more in terms of what is the net value addition that GCC is bringing to the table for overall enterprise growth, whether it is a top